Welcome to Squirrel, the podcast for distracted writers, hosted by Candace J. Thomas and Jody L. Milner.
Hi, welcome to Squirrel. This is Candace.
And this is Jody.
And welcome to our 43rd episode for this season. And this week we are talking atmospheric phenomenon. Spell that. That's your spelling words for the day.
I would spell it, but I have it right in front of me on the notes, and that would be cheating.
Yeah, no. So this came about because I'm fascinated by things. We just had an eclipse. This is kind of a while ago, but this is where my brain is.
We're just catching up to that moment.
Yeah, right. We have episodes planned until now. So
well, and you would have missed all the coolness that was the other stuff we planned.
That's true. Right. So here we are, 43rd, and we're talking the eclipse. So, but the cool thing about what the eclipse did for me is this kind of atmosphere things have happened. It's like it's reoccurring. It's happened throughout the entire life of the sun, right? So people have recorded these things and there's a kind of a mystery about them, weird rituals, weird folklore, I guess.
Absolutely. I think before science was like, this is why this is happening, we came up with all of our own really cool stories.
Yeah, exactly. Because we need to explain it in our own way.
Well, otherwise it's really scary. You're like, you remember that one time the sun disappeared? Yeah. What was that about?
Why? Exactly.
And Uncle Bob stared at it and now he sees rings in his vision?
Yeah. Right. That's right. Did you stare at the sun?
I'm smarter than that. I had glasses. Special eclipse glasses.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me, we're going to go to you first, Jody. Tell me about your experience with this eclipse.
If you guys hadn't ever noticed before, I might come from a giant family of super nerds. And we've been planning to go see this eclipse since the Idaho eclipse.
Really?
Yes.
I did go to the...
we don't call it the Idaho eclipse. It happened in a lot of places.
Well, but I was in Idaho.
Idaho just happened to be really convenient for us.
I was in Rigby, I believe. Oh, it was so cool. I wish I could have gone this time. But anyway,
I think this one was better than that one.
How could that be?
I will tell you.
Okay.
So I went down to Waco, Texas to see this eclipse. And Waco is this quirky little city that has all sorts of interesting history, including the Dr. Pepper Museum. And I know you all wanted to know that.
Are you serious?
It's
we
pretty
are
cool.
Dr. Pepper people. So
I knew you would like that. And we went. And our initial plan was, we'll just kind of step out of the hotel and we'll watch it from there. We just want to see it. We don't really care where. And then we get there and we're like, I make you bet they have an eclipse party somewhere. Because of course they do. And turns out Baylor University was throwing a mega eclipse party. And so we went and we were in this crowd of like 20,000 people. And there's scientists from NASA who are talking about atmospheric phenomenon and eclipses and planets and space travel. And so all my science geek nerd family are sitting and listening to these lectures in, by the way, Texas is hot and steamy and humid in all the ways Utah is not. And it was like this beautiful April day and we were all melting into the grass because of the humidity. But what's really neat about a full solar eclipse is that the temperature will plummet. And it went down at least 15 degrees.
Yeah, it does. It gets
and
colder.
It was really cool because, we were very hot. But it was an otherworldly experience. And we were lucky because it had been cloudy all day, intermittent patches of blue here and there. And we're like, it's going to be cloudy. It's going to be cloudy. We're going to have traveled all this way to look at a beautiful cloudy sky. Mm-hmm. And so we were really worried. And like literally 1 minute before the totality, the sky opens. There is this portal where the sun is right in the middle. And then there's like 20,000 of, there's like this countdown that happens across the entire group. And the NASA guy on stage is like, now when totality happens, just look at it and enjoy. I'm making like I'm holding a microphone and I have a microphone in front of me. And I just realized how awesome that was. Please just enjoy it for the first minute. Then after that, you can do your TikTok and all of that. But for the first little bit, just be quiet. and enjoy it. And he's on the stage trying to rally, 20,000 people to calm down and just enjoy it. Because when it did go into full totality and the corona shot across the sky, like it was big. Like I remember the Idaho one, not like it was there, but it wasn't like, whoa. Mm-hmm. This one was big. And it was like the thing where you just get chills, and everyone did go quiet. And then there's all like people murmuring like, oh my gosh. And then we had a place where you could see where the sun was shining through one of the mountains on the moon, and it was creating a prismatic effect. And so there's this pink blob hanging off the bottom of the moon, which we thought was really cool. And NASA guy sat and explained it. And so it was cool. It was very cool. That was a long story, but
no, but that's all good.
Excited.
I wish that I saw the one in Idaho and I was mystified. I thought it was fantastic. What you're describing is something. Well, I'm like, I thought it was pretty fabulous, but now I'm like jealous because I wish that I would have gone. Would have been able to go to that.
But it might have been because we were in a bigger group. Like when I was in Idaho, we went to a trailer park right by the sand dunes, and trailer park people are a whole exciting different blend of life, and we love them all, but it's very different than a crowd of families at a university. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to see this one, but I remember in Idaho where you'd look at the shadow of the tree and all the little places the light shone through, you could see the crescent.
Yeah, the crescent.
And we thought that was so cool.
So cool. And I remember it getting darker, but it was almost just like, it didn't seem like
it's like your eyes adjusted too fast.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
but then it was sunset all the way around you.
Wasn't that gorgeous?
Which was amazing.
I thought I was so
and like the streetlights turned
mystified.
On. And we all thought that was funny.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I love the eclipse, the whole thing. But what are some other atmospheric phenomena that you are fascinated by?
Cosmic phenomenon, yes. Okay, so there's things called sundogs.
Yes, no, I love sundogs.
Sundogs are awesome. So sundogs are kind of relatives of rainbows.
I'm like, did you steal my notes?
I wrote my notes first, I'll have you know.
You didn't?
Maybe.
No, you didn't.
Okay, well, we both can like sundogs.
Yes, sundogs. Go ahead.
So this is my understanding of what sundogs are, and I might be completely wrong. Mm-hmm. But when there's enough particulate in the sky, like raindrops or cloud cover, just enough where there's a mist by the sun, it'll cause these little tiny arcs of prismatic light to jump off the sides of the sun. And they look like these mini rainbows a little bit.
It's like a little spot of rainbow.
Yeah, there's a little spot of rainbow. If you're wearing special, like certain kinds of sunglasses, they're a lot more apparent. And apparently my last few sunglasses have been really good at spotting sundogs. And so I've been very happy.
That is
But
cool.
they're cool. I love sundogs. I love rainbows. And then shooting stars.
Yeah.
Like, we will go and...
Yeah. Do you go to like the Perseids or...
We'll catch the Leonids or the Perseids or... There's one more that I am forgetting, but if there's a really good time to catch it and it's like a weekend and the weather's nice, we've tried to take the RV out to somewhere really desolate to be able to see them.
Cool. I have this neat book called The Cloud Collector's Handbook. And I'm going to put this on the blog because I think everyone should buy and own this. So my mom moved to Kansas several years ago. And when she moved out there, this was a way for us to keep connected. So I had a cloud. When I would see a strange cloud, I would take a picture of it and send it. And I'm like, I got this many points. So it was pretty awesome. It has a lot of like the sundog and like cloud bows and halos and all these cool little things. I'm on my Kindle showing Jody right now.
We've been driving before and we'll see a cool cloud and Candy will be like fumbling to open the app to be like, okay, look up this one. I think it's this. See what kind of cloud is that? And I'll find it.
It says here, sundogs can appear when a cloud's ice crystals are shaped like hexagonal plates and aligned almost horizontally. Like falling leaves.
Okay, so prismatic.
Yeah.
They create That sounds like the definition of a prism.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. There you go. So sundogs are, if you didn't know, they're only 20 points, but they're 15 bonus points when they appear on both sides.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Don't
so you
contrails get a ridiculous amount of points?
Contrails, let me look. Sorry to.
I remember you mentioning that and thinking it was really funny.
Yeah, contrails. Everybody can see contrails. Like, I mean, I don't know. Let's see, contrails.
Have you ever tried to find the gold at the end of the rainbow?
Yes, actually, I have. I mean,
of course you have.
Yes. I used to, when I was like 10 and it was raining and there was rainbows, and I would just, every time I would like pass through on a sidewalk, like there was some kind of line, I would go, I'm in the rainbow now, or then I'm not in the rainbow, or I don't know,
Okay.
Just,
you would also step on the cracks and break people's backs, wouldn't you? No?
I'd never do that. Why would I never do that?
You never stepped on cracks.
Okay, a contrail is only 10 points.
I'm glad that's less.
Bonus 10 points when the plane cuts it. So there's 2 contrails that are like...
Yeah, we've got an airport hub like right here.
Yeah,
so
we see contrails all the time, and it's like, I could have a gazillion points from that. It's just lame. So yeah, and I love rainbows. I love when I can see a halo. Do you ever see those halos? We live in the ones that happen when it's really, really cold. When it's cold and there's a ring around the moon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those. And
sometimes they'll be. It's really rare, but I've seen them on the sun before.
Yeah, yeah. When it's we live in a place that has seasons, and we get cold stuff, so that's it's kind of cool.
And unless you're on the equator, you probably have seasons too.
No, not everybody has seasons.
Well, I mean, California doesn't.
Texas
technically have.
No,
they have wet and dry.
That isn't seasons.
Okay, fine.
That isn't seasons. We live in the strangest state where you could go 30 minutes north and be in snow, and go 2 hours south and be in Redstone. It's the strangest place. You go 2 hours, west of us, and you're in like the salt desert. It's the coolest place.
Salt flats are awesome.
They are. I will do an episode on that. That would be awesome.
Because tying that to fiction writing is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Coming back to fiction writing, actually.
Let's go back to fiction writing. Okay. There are rituals that happen during certain things.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we alluded to this before when we were talking about culture and folktale. Mm-hmm. Because before there was these scientific explanations for why all this was happening, people were allowed to create their own stories to help them understand and be okay with what they were seeing.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think that I was always mystified by the Mayans and how that they like developed their calendars. But there's a lot of, in their history, they have documented, certain things like the shooting stars or the eclipses and stuff. So I was fascinated by that. Did you know that there is Australia has some indigenous stories too, because I'm thinking, when I think folklore, I honestly think of Celtic type of.
Well, we're
things.
Baked in
the Western Stonehenge,
Western European folklore. That is kind of what.
That's my history there. My Norse mythology here.
You North princess, you.
Yeah, no, there's this cool story about, it was supernova. There was the story of these 2 brothers. It was like an oral storytelling where these 2 brothers, one was saving the other but giving up his life, and became a new star because of it, so that they could always be together or something like that. So I also think the supernovas are pretty freaking cool.
We're going to have one.
Are we?
I just saw this in the news that, and I'm not going to get the date right, but coming up in our lifetime, there actually will be a perceivable supernova where we're going to get a super bright star that will be there for a few days and then disappear.
That is so cool. I hope it's my star. I have a star named after me.
I have a feeling it's not your star.
And I have a feeling it is.
There's billions of stars out there, right?
Oh, but there is one that has my name on it. So I'm going to say it's in the Andromeda Galaxy. We can look it up.
Okay.
The one that's named
Your
after
star
me.
Is going. Bye-bye.
No, yeah. It'll just be called Supernova Candace. It'll be fantastic. It would be
I feel
really
like
cool.
There's a song that needs to go with this.
Supernova Candace. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so I was doing a little bit of folklore that was surrounding eclipses specifically. And a couple of things I stumbled across I thought was fascinating is the idea that the full moon had a lot of power.
Mm-hmm.
That's been around in witchy culture forever. That there's a better word for that, but the eclipse has special power compared to that. And so that's a good time to recharge crystals or to make moon water. And these things will have special power to do really cool things. But like in most of the cultures that have eclipse folklore, it was seen as the gods being angry with people and then taking the light away as a result of it, like a punishment.
Like, what did you do?
Well, it's like,
You
clearly.
What did you do, Jody? You made the sun go away.
I shouldn't have eaten that forbidden tomato. One of the ones I thought was cool is that in ancient China, it was believed that a celestial dragon was devouring the sun. And so they would bang drums and shoot arrows in the sky to scare it away.
Oh, that's so cool. And then it went away.
And then it did. It worked.
Oh, good for them. It's because of those drums.
Good job.
Thank you guys for having these drums. I'm trying to think of if there was another.
You mentioned Stonehenge.
I did mention Stonehenge. Oh, in my notes, I find Stonehenge fascinating.
I was hoping you were going to follow up with
some
interesting fact about Stonehenge. I might be thinking too hard.
What I know about Stonehenge basically is from Spinal Tap. So that doesn't really help much.
But doesn't it correspond to some kind of astrological calendar?
Yeah, because it hits
like
the
alignments.
equinoxes. Mm-hmm. So it's...
so it totally goes with this episode. Yeah. It's not just cool.
No, it's cool. And those little druids that I'm like fascinated by, like Anglo-Saxon, that early stuff, and all the hills that they're excavating and finding these ships under, that's crazy cool. That is different episode. Really, I'm so sorry, I'm squirrely. But the
squirrely never.
Yeah, no, I can't. And it
I love how excited you are about this. The words aren't happening.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, right. I think that this, like, Stonehenge is right off this main road. And that's so weird because I feel like it should be
isolated in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thinking like Tessa the D'Urbervilles, and there weren't any cars or anything, but knowing that there's like a freeway next to it is like the strangest thing.
Well, it's like when you think of the Sphinx in Egypt and pyramids at Giza, you're like, they're isolated in the middle of the desert. No, they are literally on the foot of the frickin' city.
Really?
Yeah. So they never show you the picture from the one side of the pyramids because it looks into this really dirty metropolis. From the other side, it looks straight out into empty desert. And then you have these majestic... This is not to do with celestial phenomenon, although they say the alignment of the pyramids of Giza have to do with Orion's belt, I believe.
So I think that these old places where they would do these kind of rituals has to do with what they see at night. And I can't even imagine
how much they've had to drink.
How bright the sky. There's no light pollution during those times. So there had to be so many stars. And
I know, I'm so jealous.
Right? I love going out to our cabin. It is just like away from, this city. And it's so pretty. I get to see stars that I haven't seen or visited in a really long time.
So we talk about how these things are inspiring, how eclipses and shooting stars and rainbows are inspiring and leave us starstruck. Could you expand on that?
Well, we're made of star stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson tells us this all the time, right? And I feel so small.
Carl Sagan does too.
Probably. Yeah, because it's true. Like, I feel so small when these type things happen. There's just such a enormous world. I can't even explain it.
It was Carl Sagan.
It was Carl Sagan?
I get points for that.
Well, and Neil deGrasse Tyson said it.
They quote each other constantly. It's fine.
Or you can see it like, he could have just thought of it by himself.
Go on.
So yeah, no, I have written plenty of poems that have to do with the stars and the night sky and the sweeping of shooting stars. And the complexity of what we see versus what is actually there. I love Pleiades was one of the inspirations of my Vivittira story, with having these sisters. Their lives revolve around each other. And so Pleiades has always been one of those just mystifying things that I've loved. So I think that there's a lot of inspiration that I gather from just being with the sky and being with the stars and being with seeing those astronomical moments that redefine who we are and kind of realign us. It's inspiring.
I feel starstruck about it because it evokes story instantly. It's not just a shooting star. It's a chance to make a wish. I mean, how many stories are based on a chance to make a wish?
Mm-hmm.
It's not just an eclipse. It's a dragon eating the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, and it makes the imagination start spinning, which I love.
Yeah.
I think this is time for pop culture.
Oh, yes. Okay. Pop culture.
Because sometimes eclipses and other cosmic phenomenon show up in really interesting places in like movies or TV shows or books.
Sure. Yes. like what?
Okay, this is going to date me, but dude, Ladyhawk. Do you remember enough of Ladyhawk?
Okay, so that's Rutger Hauer and Michelle Pfeiffer and little Matthew Broderick.
Absolutely.
You
I'm
think
so
that
glad
I
you
don't
remember.
know? I know these. I know these actors. I know the story really well. I followed kind of Rutger Hauer for a while, so in my teen years. Not that I was
Really?
Yeah, well, there's The
Okay.
Hitcher. I loved The Hitcher, which is a frightening movie, and I loved Buffy. He's the bad guy in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay, I can totally see that.
And that was my movie. I loved that movie so much. Not the TV show, the movie that came out before that.
Sure. So I mean, like a brief recap of Ladyhawk, like this whole story is based on cosmic phenomenon because he transforms under the light of the moon and she transforms under the light of the sun, and
That's
they can
right.
only see each other at dawn and dusk, but not long enough to make a meaningful connection. And so, and I don't want to spoil anything, but an eclipse is key to breaking this curse
because it
then
would
it's
be
the sun and the
meaning of
moon at
both.
the same time, which
Mhm.
is quite beautiful.
That is lovely.
Dark Crystal also has a cosmic phenomenon
yes.
at the very end, and
Yes.
not this latest iteration, not the TV series,
No,
the
but
original movie.
Mhm.
But
remember.
they had several planetary bodies that had to align for a very special thing to happen, where the two species could come together again.
Mhm.
This is too late for spoilers at this point, so if you're disappointed, I'm sorry, but not very.
I remember, I don't even know why I watched this or how I even watched this, but there was this movie called Night of the Comet, and it's a B movie, I'm sure.
It sounds like one.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Night of the Comet. So everybody, this is just like the first 10 minutes of this show. Everybody is so excited about seeing this comet flash at night. And so everybody's out watching this while these two people are making out in a theater, and they don't see the comet. And then when they go outside, everybody has turned to ash. And
Because those two phenomenon so go together.
I mean,
Clearly.
no, but it's kind of creeped me out. Did you see the comet that was a couple years ago?
I believe I did, yeah.
Because my brother-in-law, we went up to our cabin. My brother-in-law brought his telescope. He has like a PhD in like physics, and he set it up so that we could watch or see the tail of that comet. It was amazing, but it made me think of, are we going to turn to dust? You know?
Well, after watching a movie like that,
I know, right?
I mean,
But
it's
it's
no
a
killer
cool-
clowns from space, but
But yeah, thinking about how, like, I really liked the things that were happening for the eclipse this time, where people were like, don't go while you're pregnant because your baby's gonna get irradiated. That was one of my favorite ones.
What?
Oh yeah, no, and
I imagine you heard a lot more fun stuff than I did.
oh, I wrote down some of them. Let me see. Pregnant people shouldn't watch the eclipse, or you shouldn't eat food that you've made during the eclipse
Like what?
because
At a
it's going to be
picnic?
poisoned. Yeah.
Clearly my microwave's also poisoning my food, but I'm still nuking things.
It's any time when there's something strange like this, people push it. They get these crazy ideas, and because a lot of it isn't, it can't be fully explained, I guess, to them, but it makes perfect sense to me. So what are your final thoughts?
Oh, man. As writers, I'm hoping that you guys are all collectors of the interesting and unusual, because this eclipse is a big reminder that the world is full of fascinating things, and they're just waiting for you to experience them and explore them and discover different ways of enjoying these things. And so, like, the more you can immerse yourself in these cool phenomena, the more you can feel awe over this, the more potential you'll have for being able to stick that into your own writing. And as Candy and I are fantasy writers, we look for cool stuff all the time because it's story fuel, but anyone can do this because this is I think everyone deserves to feel a sense of awe every once in a while.
Yeah, everyone needs to feel small and realign themselves to what's important. My final thoughts, well, I just respect any kind of atmospheric phenomenon. How about that? I have a very healthy respect, and I like to research why. But it makes me, I'm fascinated, and I'm fascinated by folklore, and I'm fascinated by tales that you can create because of these things. And I like being a part of it. So when I can say that I was here, I saw this. Yeah, so find your inspiration. That's basically it. So, okay, Judy.
Thank you guys for listening today.
What do we have next?
By the way, next weekend is Mother's Day, so plan appropriately.
Yes.
In honor of Mother's Day, our episode the following Monday will be on supporting writer moms.
Nice.
I thought it was a nice touch.
That is a nice touch. Very good.
All right. If you liked anything you've heard today, we have a Patreon. We also have a Buy Us a Coffee. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, we love comments. And so...
yeah, we want to hear from you.
We'd love to hear from you.
Definitely. So thanks, everyone.
All right. This has been fun.
Thank you for listening to the Squirrel Podcast for the Distracted Writer with Candace J. Thomas and Jody L. Milner. Please like and subscribe to our podcast for updates and new episodes, and find more information at our website, squirrelpodcast.com. Stay distracted, everyone.
Oh, I'm wearing my t-shirt. I forgot. I'm wearing my eclipse t-shirt.
Oh, okay. So Jody's t-shirt, everyone, is...
so it looks like Starry Night, but it has an eclipse in it, and it has longhorn cattle because I was in Texas. I love it.
It's beautiful.